Hey good people, welcome back to Beauty in the Frizz. My name is Cara. Whether you're new or returning, thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with me for another one today. So today's video is one that I really wanted to film. I think it's an important video for makeup YouTubers as well as makeup enthusiasts. And so I want to talk about some spending habits and pitfalls that I think all of us run into. So if you're interested in hearing about these makeup spending habit mistakes, keep watching this video. Let me know what you think. And if makeup is your therapy and your love, if it makes you happy and you want to hang out with someone that feels the same way, definitely consider joining the community. I'd love to have you back. All right, let's get started. So I'm really trying to change my relationship with makeup. It's not easy because I had to be very honest with myself about how much money I was spending, the use of the makeup in my collection, and then going through my eyeshadow palettes and letting so many go and still having a lot of eyeshadow palettes. It's been a very eye-opening experience, and I probably had to get to this point in order to have these new feelings. But if I can prevent anyone from wasting money or having a makeup collection that brings them anxiety, that's what I want to do. That's why I'm filming all of my declutters and things like that and sharing my feelings about it, because it's really tough. It's one thing if you're decluttering some makeup that may have been gifted or you had PR because you didn't buy it, but most of what I was letting go was stuff that I bought myself, and it was like, I felt like I was just throwing money in the trash. You know what I mean? Nothing went in the trash, but you know what I'm saying. So let's get started. I took some notes, and hopefully all of this makes sense. And if you have anything to add to this conversation, definitely let me know in the comments so we can keep talking about it, because this is really important. I want to also share that when I started this channel, I really didn't have like an idea of where it was going. I just thought I was going to be reviewing makeup, you know, that I had in my collection, but I didn't really realize like how these makeup streets work, how many launches there are at all times. Like something is launching every day or being sneak peeked. I just didn't realize that. And at one point I was really trying to keep up with bigger YouTubers, you know, not really realizing how the algorithm worked, not really paying attention that most of these people are gifted the items that they're reviewing, so it's easy for them, and I'm spending my money, you know what I mean? I just didn't realize what I was getting myself into. And here and there, I still fall into that, but my goal is to review the makeup that I'm choosing to buy, not just what's being released. You know what I mean? Because you have YouTubers that are able to buy every new release and they want to review stuff and do wear tests and all that. And that's really not me. There are several things that I remember buying even recently, and I'm like, what did you buy this for? Like, your channel's not even known for trying out foundation or concealer. Like, what are you doing? So I kind of had to have a hard look at myself about what I was doing. And again, realizing the unnecessary money that I was spending on things that really people don't care too much about hearing from me. So let's get into these pitfalls. The first pitfall is wanting to try something because it's a new formula. There are not that many formulas out here, y'all, especially for eyeshadow. There's just not that many. And I got to the point, especially with smaller indie brands, where I was purchasing things from different brands and realizing all of it was the same formula, all of it. Not just the same formula, but the exact same shades. And I had to get rid of a lot of those eyeshadow palettes because I'm just like, how many do I need? And that's why I really do stay away from those now. But I always hear people say, well, it's a different formula. Oftentimes, it's not that different because most YouTubers then do comparisons and we find so many similarities in our collection. It could be foundations, concealers, definitely with eyeshadows and lipsticks. And there are a lot of good formulas out there. I don't think it's necessary to try every single new formula of something. At least it's not necessary for me because, again, I am not a review channel. And I have to keep that in mind. If something worked for me and then they upgraded it, that's fine if I want to try it, but I don't need to try it because they upgraded it. Also, using the word new all the time. You know, we are in a culture where everything needs to be newer, better, more. So when something's a new formula, it kind of hints that like what you have is old. And no brands are saying that, but I think subconsciously we do take that in at times and feel like that. Well, I can say I do. I feel like that. We say it all the time. Well, this was the old formula and this is the new formula. It's like, oh, do I need to try this new one? I think we need to move away from that, feeling like we have to try every single formula. Yes, we are enthusiasts, but no, we don't have to try every single formula right away. Like, it's not a rush. We can wait. And going along with new formulas are new brands. That's my second one. We don't have to try every single brand. There are a lot of celebrity brands that are popping up. We don't know what they know about beauty. I mean, like, I love me some John Legend and I love me some Idris Elba, but do I need to try their skincare? No, I really don't. I have skincare that I like. There's no need for me to go out and purchase a new skincare brand when I already have the things here that I like. I'm gonna mention indie brands again. I swear, like, every week there's a new indie brand, every single week. And I can look at these palettes now and just look at them and I can tell they're all the same formula, all of them. And I'm just like, no. But I was at a point, I would say in 2021, where it was like, oh no, I haven't tried this brand, I haven't tried this brand. And like I said, I would get these shimmer palettes and these all shimmer duochrome palettes. And then I'm like home swatching and trying to do comparisons. Like, how does this compare to this? And it doesn't compare because it's the exact same. So I am trying to kind of narrow down the brands that I am purchasing from. It doesn't mean that I'll never try new brands, but right now I'm not really even looking at new brands. I'm just not. It doesn't even have to be new, like the brand just came out, but if it's a brand I've never tried, I'm honestly not looking at them to purchase right now because I need to really reel it in and hone it in and focus on these brands that I have in my collection that I really, really like. So I don't need to bring anything else into the mix. It's not necessary because they don't have anything that I don't already have in my collection from brands that I already like. So I don't need to branch out and try anything else. That's how I feel right now. And I've looked on Purchaser Pass and seen stuff and I'm like, oh, haven't tried them, but I'm not in the market to try new brands at this time. And that's what I keep saying to myself. You're not in the market to try any new brands right now. When you open it up to maybe try something else, that might be the first one on the list, but I'm really for no new brands in 2023. I'm just not for it right now, y'all. I'm just not. So that's number 2. Number 3, this one is probably one of the most important one, and this is participating in sales. Now, I always say if you are gonna buy something, it's great to buy it on sale, but sometimes it's not because you end up buying way more than you would have bought if you just bought that one thing at regular price. So that's something that's hard for me. Only buy something on sale if it makes sense. So like right now, Sydney Grace is having a sale, right? They have, and the sale might be over by the time you see this video, I'm not sure. But one of their palettes is on sale. I remember when that palette came out. This is the Be Mine palette. It came out last Valentine's Day. I want to say 2022 it came out. I did not want that palette then. So my whole thing is, don't let a sale make me want the palette now. Because it was in my cart. Because I'm like, $26? Like, and then I started looking at reviews and I'm like, no, you weren't looking at it then. Don't look at it now. I'm looking at the Chucky palette from Glamlight. Now, I want that palette. I don't know if I'm gonna get it. I might wait for a sale, and that sale will make sense for me to participate in because it's something that I wanted. But if you didn't want it before it was on sale, do not get it because it's on sale. 9 times out of 10, you are not going to use it. Another example, it was like the Alva 2 palette from Odin's Eye. It went on sale for $16. Haven't touched it. Have not touched it. Beautiful color story, and I love Odin's Eye. But you know why I haven't touched it? Because I really didn't want it. I didn't want it when it came out. I don't even know if I knew of the brand when it came out. I only got it because it was on sale. Lethal was having a sale, and it was on Build Your Own Palettes. Now, y'all know I have really gotten into that. And so you couldn't get multi-chromes and you couldn't get the new Charity shade. So I was like, well, who would build a palette without multi-chromes? You know what I mean? So then I was like, okay, well, let me see if I can finesse this. What I did was I took the multi-chromes out and got those for 10% off, and then put like a couple different mattes and shimmers in the palette instead and got that 30% off. And in total, it ended up being pretty much the same as the palette with the multi-chromes. Now that kind of made sense for me because it was something that I already wanted. But don't let a sale tempt you, because you end up spending money on things that you didn't anticipate getting, and it's still money spent. It's a great deal, but you're still spending money, and it's not a better deal than spending $0. And sometimes the sales just seem so good. We really have to watch ourselves with that. And being a makeup enthusiast, and I mean, it's almost like an addiction in a way. So, I mean, we're gonna say what it is. We just have to be conscious of it. Number 4, I would say not having a way to account for what's in your collection. Oftentimes we put things in drawers, we forget we have things, and I have done that and then been mad like, oh, I really didn't need that because I already had this. We have to have a way to account for the things in our collection, because no one has their whole collection sitting in front of them, especially if they have a big collection. If you have a small collection, you might have everything sitting out in front of you, and that is really great, but that's not my situation. So I do mention my spreadsheet. Like today, I was looking at Sydney Gray singles that I wanted, and I was so glad I checked my spreadsheet because I had repeats in there. And so I took them off like, ooh, I'm so glad I looked at this before I made a purchase, which I still haven't made the purchase yet. Even though those singles may have only been $3 or $4, I don't even want to waste that. Every little bit counts. So you need to have some type of notebook or spreadsheet or something where you know what eyeshadow palettes you have, where you know what color stories are in those palettes. Because if you don't, you may get something and you already had something in your collection that you loved that you just kind of forgot about. My Excel spreadsheet or my number spreadsheet is like the best thing that I can do to log my makeup. And I also like color coded, like what was decluttered? What have I worn in 2023? What was gifted? What did I buy in 2023? Like I'm really trying to be very, very organized with that. So I can say to myself, wow, I really use my Adept palettes a lot. Like this brand is like a good one, but you know what? I'm really not using my Glam Shop palettes. So what does that say to you? Like, do I keep buying from Glam Shop if the trend is that I haven't used them? Like maybe that's a brand that's not for me anymore, or that I should stay away from, you know? So I think it's important to kind of keep yourself accountable in that way. And the last one is kind of 2-in-1. Getting caught up in limited edition items and packaging, and then feeling like you have to be a completionist with makeup releases. It's kind of 2-in-1, but I wanted to keep it at 5. So this is hard because we never know when a brand says that a release is limited edition. We never really know if it is or it isn't. Now, often the things that I see brands saying are limited edition stay around for a while. But then there are times where the Odin's Eye Christmas palettes, they may have restocked it once, but then they are gone. The legendary Diversa collection is gone. The Fire Rose Quad, I think that's what it was called, from Charlotte Tilbury, gone. Like that came out and it was gone. There was no restock of that. Muerte was gone, but then it came back. It might have been 4 years later, but it came back. So you never really know, but definitely don't rebuy something for limited edition packaging. That's just like the Midnight Sun palette. No, absolutely not. You are not getting $128, Mama Pat, for a palette that has been selling for $77 for months. The same palette that people are finding in TJ Maxx. It's so crazy that you're gonna put a sticker on there and charge $128 because people are nostalgic and want the Darth Vader sticker on there. Like that is so wow. She also brought out the Voyeuristic Vixen Quad with the red packaging. I love that quad, but I was not rebuying it because it was in the red packaging. So just try not to get caught up in that. And then being a completionist, so the Odin's Eye palettes, the Perfect World collection, like it has taken everything in me to be like, Cara, you really don't like Batty Beans palette. You really don't. It's really vibrant, really tropical. And although I know I would make some beautiful looks, am I going to use that palette after the video? The answer is probably not. So I am going to be content and okay with only buying 2 of the 3 palettes. That's where I'm at. But you would not have been able to get me to do that a few months ago. So that's something that I'm getting used to. I wanted to have a complete Pat McGrath collection, and I had everything but like 1 palette. And you know, I've decluttered and sold some Pat McGrath. Like, no, I'm gonna curate this down to the Pat McGrath items that I like. It's nice to be able to show and compare, but that's not really what I'm about. So why do I really care to have it all? I just want to have what I want. And I think I've lost sight of that. You end up having regrets. And I'm just trying to keep anybody from having those makeup regrets. You know, buying things just because, buying things because it was on sale, buying things because you wanted to complete a set. It's really not necessary. And we're enthusiasts, but it should feel good. Like, we should feel good about what we purchase. And I think we should feel choosy about what we allow in our collection and what we spend our hard-earned money on, you know? And the last thing I want you all to remember as I get ready to close out this video is that brands are businesses. And I have relationships with different brands. Like, I'll send DMs or like pictures or tag them and things like that, whether I'm on PR or not. But just remember, like, we can connect with those people. We can feel a connection to products, and we can feel a connection to brands and brand owners and all of that. But the reality is if you go broke over this makeup, they're not coming to save us. They are about making money, and that's really the bottom line. They are businesses. Like, do not go broke over makeup. It is not worth it. So as I'm saying, like, don't have the loyalty to these brands. The loyalty has to be to yourself. And just remember that big name YouTubers get so much in PR. It is easy for them to have these big collections because they're getting a lot of products for free. And I'm still at a point where I'm buying most of my makeup. So I want to be careful with that. And if I do get to a point where it's like everything I have is PR, and I could even do it with the things that I'm gifted now, the question that I would ask myself and share with you all is, if I didn't receive this in PR, would I buy it? I've had to say no about that for lots of things that I've been gifted, and that's just the truth. It is what it is, you know? That's it, y'all. It's kind of a rambly video, but I just wanted to have a moment of transparency because I am looking at my makeup with a different lens, and I'm looking at the money that I'm spending on makeup in a different lens. And luckily, most of the makeup that I bought this year, if not all, I've used a Macari balance for. And that's a really exciting thing for me because I'm able to kind of change my collection around a bit and make it more geared to the things that I want and I'm into now, while someone else is getting something that they were looking for. And then I'm not even dipping into, you know, my makeup budget, which totally went out the window last year. So still working on that budget situation and being disciplined. And that's just a work in progress. But I think that if we avoid these pitfalls here, that we will do better with our makeup budget and our spending habits. So let me know if you found this video helpful or informative. Is this common sense? Let me know. I'm just reflecting, and this might be something that you all are doing well with, but I know I wasn't. So I'm trying to, you know, move in this direction. So I hope it does help somebody out there. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time and hanging out with me for another one today. I hope this was therapy for you. It always is for me. And until I see you again, make sure you are being gentle with yourself. Talk to yourself nice, stay safe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.